yang telah mengajarkan ilmu kepada peserta-peserta kita. Baik, peserta selepas ini sangat unik kerana beliau akan sampaikan persembahan dalam bahasa Inggeris. Nak tahu siapakah beliau? Ladies and gentlemen, please giving support to Daie Muda Zaim.
My name is Zaim Zamri, and this is my journey in DMY. We equipped ourselves with the knowledge needed. We tried to follow in the footsteps of our Prophet. We lean on to each other like brothers and sisters. Now, it's time to give back to the Ummah by opening their eyes towards Allah's creation and the powerful guidance of the Quran through the Quranic lens.
إن في خلق السماوات والأرض واختلاف الليل والنهار لآيات لأولي الألباب. Ladies and gentlemen, when you look at the skies, what do you see? When you look at the rocks and trees, what do you feel? When you look at the moon and stars, what do you see and what do you feel? Ladies and gentlemen, when I was in the university, I decided to pursue my studies in geology. Do you know what geologists study? Well, basically, geology is a study whereby we try to appreciate and pay attention to the things that many people always ignore, which are rocks. Getting to learn about rocks was like putting on some geological lens that made me see rocks differently from others. In fact, we all have these kinds of lens in our own field of studies and expertise. Either you're a doctor, or maybe you're an engineer, or a teacher, whoever you are, we all have these kinds of lens that make us see the world differently from others. However, my experience trying to dive into the Quran led me to a new way of looking at rocks and the world itself. I call this the Quranic lens. So one day, I went to Broga Hills with my friends. It was only 400 meters high up, but the scenery was so beautiful that it left me in awe of Allah's creation. At first, I saw how vast the kingdom of Allah is, stretching far across the horizon. I thought to myself, how loving Allah is to us, that despite His vast kingdom, He still put His attention, He still put His time towards us, little creatures. When we raise our hands and make dua, Ya Allah, Ya Allah, Ya Allah. When I was on top, I saw how tiny we were. I thought to myself, Allah could have just crushed and destroyed us. But why? Why people still feel that they can do anything they want without any fear of Allah? Ladies and gentlemen, when Allah put the world for us to see that makes us a better servant, we raise for people's attention that makes us more arrogant. We all can have this Quranic lens, looking at things that not only we want to see, but looking at things that Allah wants us to see. Today, we make the Quran limited for only a sheikh or ustaz to ponder upon. But I realize that through the Quranic lens, with our own field of studies, with our own expertise, there are things that even a sheikh or ustaz couldn't ponder upon. Learn, study, ponder upon the verses of the Quran, because Quran is not something that you hook. Quran is not only a book, but it changes how we look. Thank you.